Kia ora, my name is Toni Marie Smith. Thank you for tuning in to the 2022 New Plymouth Mayoral Candidate Interview Series, the purpose of which is to give you, the residents of New Plymouth, a better idea of who your candidates are beyond their little written bios and FAQs on the NPDC Know Your Candidate website. If you'd like to see what the answers to those council questions are, I will put a link to the webpage below for your reference. Today I am very pleased to be joined with the lovely Councillor Dinnie Moeahu.
Cllr! Kia ora, Tony. It's wonderful to be here. I can't wait to get amongst the whānau.
It's crazy, it's like deja vu.
It's almost like we've done this
It's
before.
almost like we've done it before, but just one of those feelings.
It's the electricity in the room. That's what I'm feeling, the energy.
Energy.
Yeah.
So I've gotten your surname correct today,
It was
Moeahu?
beautiful. Yeah, Moeahu. I've been called a lot of names, and from Moeahu to Moeahu to Moeahu.
Moeahu? That sounds very regal.
Very, but it's Moeahu, and you spoke it beautifully.
Moeahu. I just wanted to make that clear because people go, "Oh, you're speaking to Dinnie? Oh, Moeahu," and I'm like, not quite, but yeah. Hey, they know the face.
I've been called worse.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Well, thank you for being here today, and we'll get into it. So, if you've watched any of the other videos, you'll know that I asked the candidates the same 5 questions, just to make it fair into being able to sort of compare answers.
Ka pai?
So let's go. Arguably, every person who puts themselves forward for mayor will say they're the best person for the job. But if that were true, then it wouldn't matter who we voted for, right? And we all have different skills and qualities, but the value of those generally depends upon what's needed at the time. So, what do you feel gives you an advantage over other candidates in light of what NPDC and the community, the issues that we're currently facing?
Kia ora. What an excellent question, thank you. I suppose first of all, it's just over the past 3 years, all the elected members got to see what I'm capable of in terms of my temperament around the council table, in terms of my ability to be very useful with my time. But I suppose if there were some strengths of me that sets me apart from everybody else is I'm approachable. My temperament around the council table, I'm a team player, I'm very assertive when I need to be, but most importantly, I'm a great listener, and I am so passionate about our community. The leadership qualities, I've never thought of leadership as a title or a position. I've always seen leadership as action and example, and that's exactly what I am.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you.
Welcome.
Wonderful. Okie dokie. So this is what I've been coining the humility test. If elected, what aspects of the role of mayor would you expect to perhaps challenge you most? And what skills or area of knowledge do you feel that you could develop further to ensure that you were going to execute that role as well as possible?
I think in terms of any leadership role, you have to continue to develop yourself, because you are dealing with different personalities that are around the table from different lived experiences and backgrounds, so you need to understand whereabouts is their common ground. But I've always considered myself a master communicator and networker, and it's trying to find those elements that bring us together. In terms of the challenges that we're facing, it's definitely the long-term plan in terms of our current rates. With inflation, that's one of the biggest challenges, and that's something that we need to review. The other things is the incoming reforms. It's not just the 3 water reforms, it's the review of local government and the Resource Management Act reform that's coming our way. So over the next 3 to 6, potentially 9 years, what we need is some stability and security, and that's something that I'll be really, really focused on moving forward.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. And So just to sidestep on that question a little bit, in regards to your own skills, do you think, because you're obviously an excellent communicator and networker, and it seems like with the challenges we're facing, it's sort of being able to get people on board and understanding. So do you feel like your your interpersonal communication skills will be translated as far as sort of more public relations skills, or is that something that you feel you might need to work on?
No, that's something that I have already. Because you
Like confidence. I've got that.
It is confidence because I've done the work.
Yeah.
And I think what our community understand, and those who know me and those who have surrounded themselves around me, is that I always back up what I say. But you mentioned something about humility, and that's something that I have in abundance as well. Because humility gives us the ability to consider all perspectives without the need or desire to defend. And when you're working around the council table with different personalities, leading with humility often gets you being able to overcome what the issue is to find a resolution. And I think when you're able to focus on the issue and not the person, that's one of my key strengths as well.
You don't need to know everything, you just need to be open to learning from others and finding the information for the sake of the outcome, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And every time that I'm in a conversation, whether it's someone from the community or around the council table, I'm always learning. And I think that's the key for anyone who's wanting to pursue a life in either politics, whether it be local or central, is to be open to learning.
Fantastic. Okay, great. So regardless of your stance on the Three Waters reform, which Dinnie's answer to that can be found on the Know Your Candidates webpage, if you're interested in that, I'm more interested in your connection and perception to the community's feelings. So in your view, what do you see as the key reasons that the Three Waters reform is receiving such opposition from the community? And I'll just double barrel that question and follow up with if the reform inevitably goes ahead despite opposition, which it seems like it might, how would you alleviate or address community concerns around those changes?
I think it's fair to say that the government did a poor job at the beginning in terms of articulating clearly the intentions. And that was probably one of the most frustrating parts as a councillor, because we were receiving information almost on the daily, and then every couple of days or so that information would change. So trying to keep up with ongoing information or trying to commute that and relay that out into the community when it's changing all the time, that was difficult. So, for example, we had the opportunity to go out to and consult with our community. That was an option put forward to us by the government, and then that option was removed. That's one of the hardships from the community, is they feel like their voices haven't been heard. The other one was there was an opportunity for us as a council to either opt in or opt out. And then the option to opt out was removed. And again, that caused a lot of frustrations. Then there were television adverts that were advertising the Three Waters about cleaning our water when there wasn't enough consultation done to the community. And that pretty much raised people's concerns and frustrations as well. You culminate everything else navigating through COVID. And I think probably one of the key issues is just the government's approach to co-governance and how sectors of the community feel about co-governance as well.
I was going to ask about that, so fantastic. Yeah. So I've been told by some people that they feel the one of the issues people have in opposition is around co-governance, around the share of responsibility or say. What do you think about that? Do you think that it is an issue, or do you think that it's a communication issue around what that really means?
I think it's an issue for sectors of the community who don't understand, right? And what our community are often afraid of is the unknown. But what people need to understand, I love the concept because it already exists. Now, there are partnerships and co-governance approaches with the Waikato River, the Te Uruwera forests, and our Maunga Taranaki, where we are collectively working together for the overall benefit of the respective communities. It's not new. Even in council, we have a subcommittee where we have 5 elected members and 5 iwi appointed members to help make better decisions around that council table for the betterment of the community. But again, when you're scared of the unknown, it's always hard to accept or acknowledge. And however people view co-governance, It's already in place.
So people who have concerns about that as an unknown, perhaps they could go and look at models where that already exists, and
Absolutely.
some of their concerns might be alleviated.
Yeah, or just talk to people who are in that space. I'm grateful because I walk between both worlds, te ao Māori, te ao Pākehā, and it's really good to engage with the community. But the engagement that I've had in rest homes and other sectors of the community, once the conversations are happening, it's a really good piece of dialogue to have. But I'm not scared of it at all. If anything, it adds another layer of accountability for our community. And that accountability is to the Crown. And I don't know, when it comes to our environment and our waterways, any other group that have been on the front lines more advocating for the wellness of our environment than tangata whenua. And that will continue to grow and continue to evolve and continue to be that extra bit of accountability on behalf of our community as a whole. That's what I'm excited about.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Rightio, so I don't know why I do this when I ask this question.
Cynical.
So, the issue of misinformation and disinformation spread and its potential impacts on the community has become quite a highly debated topic because our lives are increasingly online, really media saturated. But in regard to democratic process, societal progress, what are your views on freedom of speech and conversely, some people's desire to censor certain ideas?
I think freedom of speech is important, but I think people need to understand it comes with consequences. So you have to hold yourself to account for what you say and what you do. In terms of things being offensive, if you've got an opinion, there's always going to be the opportunity to offend. But I always know that in terms of being in a leadership role, we should hold ourselves to a higher standard, because that standard of expectation is what our community expect of us. And if you don't have those as your principles or values, then that's something, then why are you in this position? But I think, there's the real opportunity for us as a community where we can think for ourselves. And this consumerism that we have of being online and all that sort of stuff, just turn it off. Go for a walk. Enjoy each other's company, speak to more people face to face, get to know the person behind the persona as opposed to what you see online. And I think, again, humility is a really, really strong value to have when trying to see past what's in front of you and try and scratch the surface to understand their position. So for myself, freedom of speech is a right. But hold yourself to account and be responsible for what you say and what you do.
Yeah, very good. I tend to agree.
Oh, kia ora.
Critical thinking, eh? Like somebody, I do support freedom of speech, and but that's it. There's consequences. I would actually kind of rather somebody be able to openly share an opinion, and if I don't like it, okay.
Yeah.
Now I've got a better idea. Cool. Yeah. Thank you.
Like for people to understand, if you're offended, just be offended.
Yeah.
But it's not going to stop you from living your life.
It shouldn't.
But you can move forward. But again, it comes down to those who are doing the offending. And hold yourself to account. Be better, because we can be. In particular, if you're in a leadership role representing the whole entire district.
Nice. Okay, cool. Right, we're going to wrap up with a bit of fun.
Oh.
Can you please provide me with your campaign catchphrase / slogan that includes your name?
Oh. The first one that my go-to at the moment is not the how meke tū meke, vote for Dinnie, vote 1. It's, if you want to be the tahi, you've got to do the mahi. Vote 1 for Dinnie Moeahu. Kia ora.
I like it.
Did you have one?
I've been thinking about it.
And? Hit it, and I'll give you the truth.
Who cares about you? Dinnie do.
Oh, nailed it. Drop that mic.
Take it off.
Hashtag Dinnie do.
Dinnie do. Dinnie, and Dinnie's the dude. That was the other one. Best mayor is who? Dinnie Moeahu.
Oh, I like that one.
Yeah, okay.
Nailed it. You nailed it.
Yeah. Can I get that at the camera? Go on.
What is it again?
The best mayor is who? Dinnie Moeahu.
The best mayor is who? Dinnie Moeahu. Vote 1.
Okay, cool. Well, we're going to wrap that up. Thank you so much for your time today,
You're
Dinnie.
welcome.
It was awesome. Thank you for watching and for taking interest. And don't forget to vote. Otherwise, what's the point in watching this video? All the best. Ka kite.
Ka kite.
Cool.
You nailed it.
Oh, thank you.
You were amazing.
Oh, you were amazing.
There's your standard. I had to meet them.
Oh,
See what I did there?
please. No, it was great.